Okay.
And it's just fantastic. I read it when I got here.
What they say?
Some of it's really funny. So it's this one guy writing, but he says, the name Jeb Bush has not come up at all for you. And then the next line it says, loud laughter, what a joke. I didn't remember him at all. This shows what a nothing he is. The major media have been constantly saying that Jeb is the GOP frontrunner, which is utter nonsense. It's the same thing with Hillary. The polls have just been showing name recognition, nothing more. I've been looking at the comments on political news articles since last year, and Jeb Bush seems to have absolutely no support whatever, like zero. To this day, I've never seen an online commenter enthusiastically supporting him. It's really strange. All these rich people throw big money at him, but I don't know who his voters could possibly be.
I know he's got a lot of money, actually.
He's got a lot of money, but it's a good point. You know, where's his supporter base coming from? I don't know.
Well, you know, he's a popular governor in Florida, and he's done a lot of things there, and it's the most diverse state in the country. So I don't know, where's he getting his money?
I don't know. Bunch of illegals.
Yeah, there you go. So, but actually, so today I think let's start with Trump because he's like number one in the polls, right?
Yeah.
That is fascinating.
I love the polls. Love the polls. They say so much.
Maybe right now, yeah, but I don't know if you can really take that into the primary, you know. So, but it's fascinating where the people actually are, how much support and how much popularity already Trump is getting, you know, across the board.
And the reason for that is he's the only one talking. Okay, everybody else is hiding behind either something they don't want to talk about or maybe something that's happened in their past, Benghazi, or email, or something along those lines. Trump is the only one talking who's actually mounting an attack on anybody.
Right.
Everybody else seems to be afraid of taking on the Trump machine or the Hillary machine or the Bush machine or anything like that. So when you take a look at Trump, the reason he's going to surge in the polls, let's take his politics aside for a minute. Right now he's the only one making noise.
Yeah, and he's got the money, you know, he's on
a little bit.
He doesn't have to worry about, you know, his donors because he can actually do it. But how far can he take these, you know, his numbers in the polls, and when it comes to real serious, like for example during the debate, the first debate, he's of course going to make it to the top 10, and he's going to be one of those people that's going to be debating. But he said that he's not gonna prepare. He's just gonna go there and, you know, speak his mind and argue for the country. So I have never seen someone, a presidential hopeful, that will show up in a debate who's not done his homework. So I'm not sure. What do you think?
Well, I think there's a couple things you can look at. When you look at a politician, they hire a group of people to make them look good. Okay, you've got people who are speech writers, you've got publicists, you've got a whole PR committee. Now, Donald Trump is going to have your PR committee, you're going to have your publicist, but he's a businessman first.
Right.
Politician, not at all. He's a businessman. And as a businessman, when somebody goes and they stand in front of a board, or they stand in front of a group that they want to make a purchase of, what they do is they talk about information that's based on facts and figures. Now, Donald Trump has done his homework, and to a certain degree, has a pretty good understanding of where this country is sitting economically.
Economically, yes.
And when it comes to giving a speech, everybody else stands there and looks at a teleprompter and reads the words that somebody wrote for them on their behalf, and they're very rehearsed.
And then they rehearse actually the back and forth of things.
Sure, they're just regurgitating words.
Right.
Donald Trump is actually going to sit there and take this individual's words and actually give them real responses. And I think there's going to be a lot of politicians that are going to take a first-rate bath. He is just going to go out there and destroy them. Now, that being said, though, I think there's a certain amount of ignorance that's going to really come to the forefront when the people start to attack Donald Trump's politics. He's a businessman first, politician second. And these politicians primarily experience in politics, in law. A couple of them are small business owners.
Right.
That's where it stops.
Right. But also, he's probably going to get hit on, like, say, real experience in foreign policy. For example, some of maybe the people who's going to be there will have, a lot of experience with the troops overseas, or maybe have served the military. We don't know. So we'll see. So he doesn't have that. He lacks that experience, hands-on experience when it comes to foreign policy. So I don't know how much is that gonna. It's very important.
It's important, but I'm not sure if it's going to be as big a deal to the American people as some are thinking, and here's why. So we talk to somebody like, we look at Hillary Clinton or Jeb Bush or Mr. Walker, whatever. If we're talking about their foreign policy, again, they're going to be looking at how they are going to handle a foreign ailment from a political standpoint, all right? Right now, they can't handle Donald Trump, another American who's attacking them. How are they going to handle ISIS?
Right.
Donald Trump, a businessman, is taking other politicians to school. I'm a little frightened as how he'd handle ISIS.
Right.
But again, I'm going to shift my line of thinking here and say he's a businessman.
Yeah.
How would a businessman take on another business that is seeking to do a hostile takeover of his business? Would he buy it now?
I see.
I'm going to take this. I'm going to shift this to a business standpoint,
Right.
because politicians running this company, country, company, call it what you will.
Yeah.
Freudian slip there, call it what you will. I think if we had a business person running the country as if it were a business, we wouldn't be sitting in the position we are right now. Here's what we know. When somebody focuses on somebody's foreign policy, and we put somebody like Hillary Clinton in a role like Secretary of State, and if you look back, she's had nothing but high rolls, failure, and then she gets sick and everybody forgets about her, and that's probably going to happen this time around. Trump's foreign policy, it's important, but you know something?
Well, look at what the current administration, really. How did they handle, or even when we started with ISIS, really? And then compare it, you can't really criticize.
I don't think we've ever really started with ISIS. We've reacted to everything ISIS has done.
Yeah, it's a JV, remember? So what now,
ISIS is, and this sounds terrible to say, but I'm going to get yelled at for saying this, they have owned us right now. Very little is being done proactively.
Right.
And if you were a business owner and you were being attacked by another competing business, and all you did is react to what the other business was doing to you, you'd go out of business. Right now, we are in a position that we are always reacting to what somebody else is doing. And we're probably going to do something like, oh, we're going to have a great big sale. We made money one day. Look how great we are. Then the other business is going to come back and beat us up. That is what's happening right now. So our current administration's foreign policy, if you're to look at it as a business, is just nothing.
Yeah, I think that's pretty convincing when you try to look at it from the business perspective and you actually compare, what's happening. You can apply the application of economics into politics.
Absolutely.
And how you're going to run the country. I think it's pretty convincing.
Well, I think if you take a look, if you were to throw away political parties altogether and you were to say, okay, the president is the CEO, all right? So you've got all these people who are interviewing for the job of the CEO of the United States. We want to see how they're going to run this business. And instead of having a cabinet, they're going to have the C-level leaders. You're going to have your Secretary of Defense. We'll just call them the Executive Vice President of Defense. And you put all these things together, you're going to want to have a strong group of leaders within your organization. So if political parties were all aside, and I'm sitting here doing the world's toughest job interview, Donald Trump's got these people hands down.
Yeah. You know what? This is very interesting because I've not actually heard your idea or this concept of using business into transforming it into how we
Sure,
run.
thank you.
That I haven't if you listen to the media, they don't have this, so it's pretty cool. It's new. So I think that's something that we should look at, and maybe people will actually think of that, because when they look at a politician and say, or a Donald Trump, a hopeful, and say, oh, he's not capable of running the country or running, globally in the world. So because he's a businessman, but based on that argument or that idea, I think it makes sense.
It would. And when you look at, we're supposed to be the world's strongest economy. We're supposed to be the most powerful nation in the world. So let's say we are the world's most powerful business. Yet China really owns us
Right.
from a business standpoint.
You know, we owe, and really, we owe them a lot of money.
How much money do we owe ourselves?
Right.
Okay? Would a business person legitimately let them run their own business that way? There's no way they would be floating checks
Right.
hoping to stay in business.
I bet you if Donald Trump gets elected, he's gonna take care of that. I mean, he's really gonna.
I think people will be surprised. I think people will be blown away. I am mildly concerned as to what a real debate would look like.
Mm-hmm.
However, I do commend him for the whole idea and the concept of going into something completely unrehearsed, without
Right,
a
right.
speechwriter, waiting for somebody to say, hey, we're going to attack your lack of experience in politics.
Really?
I don't care.
Yeah,
I
look-
want somebody
look
who's
what
gonna
we have right
balance
now,
the damn budget.
Yeah, exactly. And what do we have for the last 7 years? So are
We've
you
got a
look-
very tall guy with very big ears who is very charismatic on camera.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a great presentation. He looks very presidential.
Yeah.
His politics have been garbage. Absolute garbage.
Look where
Mitt
we are
Romney
right now.
would have been a winner because, guess what? He's a businessman.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
Now, if we can get a Romney-Trump ticket, oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
Okay? Look at that. From looking at economics and business, that would be an economics dream.
Yeah, we probably don't have to depend. We're gonna be independent, oil independent, and our
We would be.
our debts will
We would be.
we need to really rebuild, and that's what we
Oh,
want to rebuild the
absolutely.
world, right?
And
so I think-
rebuilding the world starts at home.